right, welcome back. Time for some Last Chance Q with Coach JB. JB, I'm dragging you into a hot mess of a fire that I've just built. I think we saw the end of an era last night with Aaron Rodgers limping off the field. The era of the old school pocket quarterback is over. We're now in the official hip-hop era of football. When I saw Woody Johnson iced out with big gold diamond-crusted chain and all, I was like, oh, yeah, it's official. Football's gone completely hip-hop, and it's I don't see any difference between the NFL and the NBA. And I used to be a huge NBA fan. I'm not as big an NBA fan. Anyway, your thoughts watching Aaron Rodgers limp off the field, and am I right that it symbolizes the end of a era for the NFL?
Yeah, the old era is over. Brady's gone. Rodgers is now possibly done at 39. I don't think he recovers from that. I had a doctor, Dr. Morse, on my show this morning. Every Tuesday he comes on and gives full breakdowns of this. He covers the NFL fully. He thought it snapped. He saw it snap. He called it on his own social media account. Listen, Joe Burrow's the young one that could possibly do it, but he's more athletic, Tom Brady, that we're going to see. We're going to put him in the new generation. Aaron Rodgers is the old generation, and it ended last night. There's so much to dive into, Jason, on this thing. But to answer your question, yeah, it's over. Hopefully Burrow can establish some sustainability at the position. But one person's not enough. This is the worst quarterback play has ever been. I stand on that hill. I'm glad people are starting to hit me up now after last night's Josh Allen performance. After the Roger Goodell debacle of what he has created, 7-year veteran NFL player, Matt McChesney on my show today started crying. He said he started crying, Jason, on my show. 7-year vet, a Jet alum. And he's like, this is not professional football. This is a complete mockery of the game that Roger Goodell has created to affect the left, the woke, and create a flag football genre, so to speak, in this professional sport we like to call football. It's not no more. It's flag football, and it's causing all-time injury, Jason. This is why you have these injuries. You're not allowing your stars to play in the preseason. You're allowing no callus to be created, no tough skins established. There's science, Jason, science. You and I played. We used to stretch in 10-degree weather. Stretch, let's go. Now you warm the body up first. Get it blood boiling. You stretch after the actual exercise is over with. That's the new science. Well, you can't just go from cold to hot, Jason, like this. Like Aaron Rodgers did. What did he play? 4 minutes total preseason? And you expect this not to happen? We're fooling ourselves, man. This is a joke. You play professional football because you loved it as a kid. You then thought you were good enough to make it to the NFL and make money. And you did so. Then finish out your obligation and play the game. Play the games. Play the games. All of them. And it's just a mockery, man. It really is. It's sad to watch. I don't know if I can continue to watch this bad of a product be put out on a football field every day. And quarterback position starts there, and it's as bad as I've ever seen it. And I'm going to stay on that hill.
JB, go into detail. This former player you're talking about that cried. What's he so upset about? What was he sharing with you and your audience? Why is he so bothered?
He's mad. He's upset because, the game is – so we claim to have protect the player, but yet you won't spend the money on getting rid of turf fields and putting grass in when you can roll a grass field in Arizona. You can claim you want to put these helmet, I call them prophylactics on the helmet in practice. But you won't protect them in the whole overall scheme of things. You won't get them lifelong insurance. You won't protect the body after they leave the game. There's so many other things that are going into it. When the player leaves, that's it. They're forgotten. Roger Goodell could care less. Matt playing for the Jets, having all this stuff, seeing Aaron go down last night because you're not demanding them to play all the time. You're not demanding them to perform in front of an audience, a crowd that's paying your salary. And until the crowd or somebody starts to take money out of Goodell's pockets, there's going to be no change, because he's not getting hit because the fans continue to show up. They sold out Vegas last year, Jason, for a flag football Pro Bowl. Like, why would you change? Why would you change if you're going to get a flag football game to sell out? I'm going to continue to dilute the game. That's what they're doing. If you haven't noticed, the quarterbacks have regressed, however you want to say it. Josh Allen's digressed. I don't even know what to say. Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow looked horrible.
Joe Burrow.
I brought it up this morning, Jason, and I'm going to break it down. The injuries are at an all-time high. 270 injuries after 1 weekend of football. Soft tissue, hamstring, groin, Achilles. We've never seen it. I had Dr. Morse on today. I brought up I know it's a hot take and everything, but I brought it up to him. I just said, listen, I got to get your take on this. Jokingly, Jason, I always say it's the weed in the Taco Bell, right? I brought it up today, and I said, hey, what's up with the bone marrow deal? What do you think about it? He goes, I'm actually a bone marrow specialist. You brought up a great point. He goes, Jason, I'll be honest, JB, you're onto something here. I'm going to bring data to your show next Tuesday, and I'm going to look into it. There is no way that we're having these types of injuries at an all-time high like this simply because of either A, turf. It's a combination of a lot of things. It can't just be turf. It can't. We've seen spiral fractures on grass with Napoleon McCallum, Jason. We've seen Joe Theismann break his neck on grass. We've seen grass injuries. Football is a violent sport. The turf can't be the sole reason. I don't see the cleat giving up on grass and Aaron Rodgers' ankle just going into a waterless bottom pit last night if they were on grass. I don't see that difference. It's because we don't practice, Jason, correctly. We don't play the game violently all year around. And guess what you have? You got guys grabbing guys from the back, and that's what's causing lower extremity injuries. And then guess what? You're tearing the cartilage and ligaments in your fingers because we don't properly wrap up, square up, run our feet. Because, Jason, you're asking a 20-mile-an-hour player in the NFL that's running that fast, wearing 10 pounds of gear, to stop and go to 14 miles an hour because he doesn't know where the target zone is on a quarterback now or on a player, defenseless or otherwise, and now you're having more injuries than we've ever had. And it's like, come on, Roger Goodell, you're not protecting the player, you're protecting your pockets. And that was Matt McChesney's take today, and he got emotional. He's like, he don't care about us. And he goes, it's a joke now. And now you're losing the best players in the NFL because of this. And I think you're going to see more and more go down. And Jason, let me just say this to finish. It's not only the injuries, Jason. It's the performance. Joe Burrow looked
That's
horrific.
Where I was going.
Daniel Jones.
That's where I was going. JB, let me ask my follow-up, because what you're talking about is the lack of resistance is hurting the product as well. It's not just not protecting the players. If you're not allowed to practice full speed, how do you get better? You can only get worse. And that's what we're seeing with these quarterbacks. They keep making the game easier and easier and easier for them. And they don't have to make any reads. They don't have to really know a full game plan or anything like that. And they're not required to even practice that much. And they're certainly not required to practice full speed. How can you get better? It's how? It can't happen. And that's why I think the quarterback play, I agree with you, is getting worse.
Jason, please, can we stop with the player on the sideline wearing a headset? I'm so damn over it. I want this. There is no equal. You are hired to do one job, Jason. Play quarterback. I pay you for that one job. $200 million I pay you to be a quarterback to win me a Super Bowl for my franchise. Can we stop with the Dak Prescott's, Aaron Rodgers, and everybody else wearing a headset thinking they need to be in the know? You are on a need-to-know basis. There is no more hierarchy, Jason. It's societal. It's at the professional level with sports and athletics. It's in basketball, football. LeBron James calling the play. Stop. We need to have a hierarchy in sports and in life, or there will be no rules, bylaws, structure. We are losing the infrastructure of not only America, but sports. And the youth looks up to athletes over politicians and other people first. Let me just be clear. They're looking at Aaron Rodgers first. When he's on the sideline with a headset telling Hackett what to run, when you should be with your team sitting around chilling if you're not going to play. But really, truthfully, you should be in the damn game, Aaron Rodgers, in preseason game 1. I'm tired of seeing these guys with headsets. When did this start, Jason? When did we become equals?
Hold for 1 second, JB. You're making a great point. I just want to clarify it for the audience, just because you're making a great point. I don't want people to miss it. What JB's arguing, like, the sports world used to model how society should operate. And the sports world, particularly football, used to be modeled off a military example. And they were very efficient because there was a chain of command. Privates answered to corporals. Corporals answered to sergeants. So on and so forth. And what we've done with the sports world and what we've done with society, there is no chain of command. Everybody's equal. And the player now, he's more powerful than the coach, or he's equal to the coach. And we have conversations around, oh, my God, the coach didn't show the player enough respect, and they're equals. And we got all these former players on TV telling everybody and telling the world that, a properly run franchise, the ownership brings in the player to get his point of view, and he has a say-so in everything. That's not, there's supposed to be order, a natural order, a chain of command, and we've lost that in sports and we've lost it in society, and that's why we have inefficiency and chaos everywhere. Is that the point you're making, JB? Because it's a great one.
No doubt it is. And Jason, I'm going to be honest, I talked to 5 Division I head coaches and coordinators in the last 2 days. They see it starting at the high school level and at the level they're currently at Division I. You know why? Because you and I, when we were coaching, you were coached at Ball State, you would get ripped, MF'd, up and down, whatever. You stayed at that school. You took the coaching, teaching, whether right, wrong, or indifferent. You took it. You stayed there because your parents probably weren't going to let you transfer anyway. And you were taught to develop some tough skin and understand there is a directive coming downhill. And, we always say crap rolls downhill. And I got to say, if you're spending 23 of your 24 hours in a day, Jason, to their point, kissing the butts of the NIL players who are getting paid to stay at your institution instead of coaching them, teaching them life, teaching them skills that can be benefited when they leave the football field. No, you're trying to keep them in your school so they don't leave you. And then you can't yell at them because they'll transfer. You can't teach them nothing because they're going to transfer. And you can't coach them hard anymore. So now you're spending all your time keeping them there and you're not teaching them anything. So when they go to the NFL, what are they doing? Demanding trades. Under contract, they demand a trade. What does that sound like? A transfer portal. And it's going upwards for the first time. It's transcending upwards. And the 4-year coach is just like, JB, these kids are making 30. This was direct quote from an offensive coordinator at a Power 5 school last night. I got kids making $30,000 a month, JB, that don't even see the football field here. $30,000 a month on an NIL deal that don't even make the play on the field. And guess what? This is a lower tier Power 5. This ain't Alabama, Clemson, or USC. So imagine what they're making. He said, we got 50% of our guys making $15,000 a month that never will see the field. So what do you think the locker room is like? There's no directive. There's no order. There's guys looking at everybody side-eyed thinking there's greener pastures out here or I don't got to listen to you. I make more money than you. And these kids don't even know how to change the oil in their car, and we're giving them the keys to the Lamborghini. It's upside down, Jason. I don't know how to fix it. I wish we could fix it on your show, my show, somebody's show. But there's a direct correlation with this society and this back and forth. It goes back. It's a mirror. I think it's a mirror, and it's looking at each other. And it's hip-hop. It's the culture. It's everything. It's everything.
JB, I want to make one more analogy. Before you go, because this is awesome stuff. What we're seeing with football as it turns into basketball, and basically what you're seeing in the NFL and in college football, it's all just AAU. It's all just summer basketball. Everybody treats their college football team and now their NFL team just like, oh, I'm not happy with my AAU team, I'm going to go play for another organization. And it's AAU. Everything we hated about summer basketball has now come to football, and practices are chaotic. Well, they're fun. Again, I started looking at what I'm like, everybody's playing rap music at football practice. This is what they were doing in basketball 20 years ago. And now you can't have a football practice without Sexy Red or somebody rapping a bunch of profanity in the background as you try to teach football. This is insanity, man.
Why do you think it is, though? I mean, I want to give you my take on why the rap music's being played and why it's loud out there. It's to adhere to a kid who's forcing you to tell him, kiss my butt or I'm going to transfer. That's coming. And just imagine that times 90. 90 guys are telling Coach Saban, no, we want music. There's a reason Saban's going on the Pat McAfee show now on Thursdays. He's got to either adapt or you're going to die. Is he going to die now, or is he going to follow the Deion Sanders method and get his butt on social media in front of these kids who live on their phone? That is going to be the bottom line. Can he adapt, or will he die like Jimbo Fisher? Jimbo Fisher's dying right in front of our very eyes. He's not going to change. I know him too well. And there's a lot of other guys on that fence. Having said that, Jason, and I'll leave you at this, like, I played with professional baseball, football, and basketball players yesterday in a big-time 9/11 wounded vets deal for Pat Perez and his dad that he runs down in San Diego. I got to play it with all these guys. One-armed guys, Jason. One-armed guys playing golf. One-legged guys playing golf. Happy as a lark to be out there. Mark Mulder, former pitcher, baseball pitcher, he was there with us. I had a 10-year baseball vet with us in our foursome. He didn't want me to mention his name. They are absolutely appalled at this baseball pitcher who's come out and said, why didn't you pull me out in the seventh inning when we were getting beat? They're like, what? You're making generational wealth and you can't play the game that you love to play that got you generational wealth? Jason, at one point, like I said on my show today, the money that's paid you, the people that's paid you, the hand that's paid you all this money in the NFL, the NBA, and the Major League Baseball, don't be careful, because that you bite the hand that feeds you. Sometimes karma is real. Aaron Rodgers got bit by the hand that fed him by not paying homage and playing the game that allowed you to make the money in the first place. I'm tired of hearing it's a business. I'm tired of hearing play when you can, when you want to, all that crap. Roger Goodell needs to mandate you play for the betterment of the sport, the little kids looking up to us, and everybody else out there looking up to athletes. Because by doing this, you're allowing for this to happen, what you saw last night. He got bit by the hand that fed him. I truly believe that's happening in sports.
JB, thank you. Great job as always. We'll see you next time.